After necrosis and apoptosis, which were the more well-known forms of cell death, we are now going to start with the newer and the recent advances that have come up in the topic of cell death. The recent ones in the main exams tend to be asked more. So the first form of cell death, which is a more recent form that we are going to start the discussion with, is going to be necroptosis. Now, one very striking feature about this, you can see that this seems to be a combination. Necrosis, so that forms the first part, necrosis. And the last part is nothing but apoptosis. So what have they done? We have simply combined necrosis and apoptosis, and now we have necroptosis. Indirectly, I can say it will have some features of necrosis and some features of apoptosis. So remember, in terms of the morphology, it will be similar to necrosis. Was necrosis having inflammation? Yes. So this will also show presence of inflammation. So the morphology tends to be similar. Necrosis, as you remember, was showing cellular swelling. So yes, there will be cellular swelling. Then what does it get from apoptosis? From apoptosis, it gets a very important feature, that is the main mechanism. Now please recall, apoptosis was programmed cell death. This also, friends, necroptosis is also a programmed cell death. But then if both of them are programmed cell deaths, why have we made a separate term? What was apoptosis using? The main enzyme? Correct, caspases. So you can say that was caspase dependent programmed cell death. That is where the difference lies. Necroptosis is a caspase independent. It is a caspase independent programmed cell death. Over here, there is no activation of caspase. That is the main difference that is between apoptosis and necroptosis in terms of the mechanism. Now we come to the next part. There is one more feature of apoptosis that necroptosis shares. Remember, apoptosis could be both physiological and pathological. Same for necroptosis. Necroptosis can also be both physiological as well as pathological. So again, examples of these are important. When we talk about physiological necroptosis, the classical example that we need to know, necroptosis physiologically is seen when there is the growth plate development or the growth plate formation. So growth plate formation is an example of physiological necroptosis. When do we see necroptosis? Pathologically. Now pathologically, necroptosis is basically seen in a condition that is pancreatitis, inflammation of the pancreas. It is seen in steatohepatitis. Everyone is well aware, hepatitis, inflammation in the liver parenchyma. Steato means fatty. When there is fatty change also in the liver and inflammation, we will call it steatohepatitis. And the last example for this is reperfusion injury. Students, today we will discuss reperfusion injury because this is one of the very new and the important concepts that we have in cell injury. For the time being, you should know that pathological necroptosis is what is responsible for these three patterns. Now, just like we did the mechanism for apoptosis, same way we are going to go into the mechanism of necroptosis. So, what is the mechanism of necroptosis? Now, if you remember, I told you very similar terms of apoptosis and necroptosis in terms of the mechanism. So, what are those similarities? If you remember, in apoptosis, we started the pathway with CD95. Yes. Over here, we are going to start the pathway similarly between two cells. But which receptors will come into play? There is binding of TNF receptor and TNF alpha. When there is binding of TNF receptor and TNF alpha, in that scenario, there is first recruitment of a complex. And what is this complex? There are three things that are going to come together. These include RIP1, RIP3, and please focus procaspase 8. Now this is a complex that is formed. When binding of TNF and TNF receptor takes place, there is a complex of three things formed: RIP1, RIP3 and procaspase 8. Now if you can just remember, few seconds ago we discussed necroptosis is caspase independent programmed cell death, and now we are saying that there is a caspase that is forming a complex. Please note, I have used the term procaspase. This procaspase is only for the formation of this complex. Will it get activated? No. If this gets activated, which form of cell death will occur? Apoptosis. Procaspase 8 will always remain in the inactive stage. As soon as this complex is formed, these three things are put together, they are formed, there are two changes that take place. First, there is a decrease in ATP. The main power of the cell, energy of the cell, decrease in ATP. Second, there is going to be free radical formation. There is an increase in the free radical. Both things, as you can now understand, both the things are going against survival. ATP decrease, energy going down. Free radical increase means injury going up. In short, we are moving towards that these two things together will result in cell death. This is the mechanism of necroptosis. Right? So now necroptosis, if you want to summarize, morphologically, necrosis, mechanistically, apoptosis, but caspase independent. It can be physiological and it can be pathological. Most important example for physiological, growth plate formation. Talking about the mechanism, the question that can come is, what is the complex that is formed in necroptosis? Correct. It is a complex that is RIP1, 3 and procaspase 8, finally resulting in cell death. So this was one of the recent forms of cell death that we have now discussed. On the same lines, there is another recent advance that has come, that is another type of cell death that we will talk about, and that is the next type, that is pyroptosis. That is pyroptosis. Again, a recent advance. Please remember, recent advances are very important. Pyroptosis is also a cell death, but pyroptosis is a cell death that is usually seen with microbial infections like Salmonella, Shigella. So the first point you need to know is that this is seen associated with microbial infections. Very important examples of these being Salmonella and Shigella. Now what do we need to know? For example, if this is a microbe that has entered the body, on the cell there is a receptor. In the cells there is a receptor known as the nod-like receptor. So the components of Salmonella, Shigella or any microbial species will bind to these nod-like receptor and will activate something known as the very important information. It is the inflammasome. It will activate the inflammasome. Now, inflammasome is actually going to comprise of caspases. Which numbers over here? 1 and 11. 1 and 11. What is the main function over here? Remember, these are not procaspases, they are active caspases. So you can say that pyroptosis has active caspases. Caspase 1, caspase 11. Now these, that is caspase 1, is finally going to activate a very important step, interleukin 1. Now in our detailed discussion on inflammation, we will read